All right, now let's explore other dimensioning options. So here I'll go to annotation, and so far we have seen the dimension options up to chain dimension. Now let's talk about the symmetrical linear diameter dimension. Now this dimensioning method will help you add the diameter dimension in a very clean way for cylindrical shapes. Now I'll select this, and now consider this example here. So I've got this drawing here, and as you can see, this is actually the top view of the drawing. And then we have created a section view from this line. Just using this BB line, we've got this section BB right here. Now, using this section view, we can actually see the cylindrical part. So we have the cylindrical part right here. We have another cylindrical part right here, another one here. And these are actually these cylindrical holes. If you want to add diameter for this, then you can use this symmetrical linear diameter dimension option. Now, after selecting that option, you'll get two methods of adding it. So you can use single or multiple method. I'll start with single. Now, when you select single option, you also get an option of adding this rapid dimension. You can check it or uncheck it. It's completely up to you. In this case, I'll just keep it checked. Now, with single option, you will be able to add diameter on cylindrical part. All you've got to do is just click on any cylindrical surface like this one, and SolidWorks will automatically add the diameter. So here you can just select up or down. So I'll select up, and here it is. The diameter is added 38. Now this diameter is for this part. So from here to here, the distance is going to be 38. You don't need to specify center. You don't need to specify the entire distance. It will automatically add it. So if it is 38, then if I click on this face, that's going to add the second one automatically. So that's 44. So maybe I'll just add it here. Then if I just click here right inside this part, that's the next one. If I click here, the result will be exactly the same, because if this is 7.6, this should be 7.6. But just to show you, I'll add it. So here it is, 7.6. Maybe let's press escape and then finally add one for this. And that's 76. So maybe you will add it below, just like that. So in this case, as you can see, we added the dimensions, these diameter dimensions, simply by using one single surface or plane. So I'll just move it around like so. Section BB, we can just move it slightly here. And also I'll just ensure that this dimension is here. And this is inside the rulers right here. Or maybe you can just move this entire view down. So that's how you can add this diameter dimension. Now there is another method as well. So let's explore that. So I'll just select these two, delete it, and I'll select these two and delete it as well. Well, this one too. And now let's go to the same option, symmetrical linear diameter dimension, and I'll select multiple. Now here you need to select an axis, and all the dimensions will be measured with respect to that axis. Now, if you don't see any axis in this drawing, then you can go to this visibility and select this temporary axis. So go to view temporary axis option. Now select an axis, and now it is visible. So I'll click here, and axis is selected and added. Now that axis is added, all you need to do is select a surface, a cylindrical one. So I'll select this cylindrical surface, and here it is. So that's 38 from the selected axis. Select this, and again that's 44 from selected axis. Now here is the difference. If I click this surface, it is this diameter with respect to the selected axis. So that's the distance between this axis and this. If I select this, this is going to be different, because it's again the distance between this point and this one. So that's measuring everything from this axis, kind of like baseline dimension. And finally this one here, and that's 76. So every single measurement is now happening from axis 1. Once you are done, you can click OK, and then you can just manually move these dimensions around to just place it properly in your drawing. Or you can just move this view slightly downwards if you want to. So that's the cylindrical dimensions option. Now let's explore more options. So I'll delete it all. All right, now let's talk about ordinate dimensioning method. Now using ordinate dimensioning method, you can add dimensions without using the starting and end point. And using this method, you can end up with clean drawings. So go to this list, and here we have the next option, which is ordinate dimension. I'll select this, and now I'll select this edge right here. When I select it, SolidWorks will add this zero line. Now all the dimensions will be measured with respect to the zero line. So if I click on the next point, that's going to add 5.2, where this 5.2 is distance from zero line to this. Again, all you need to do is just keep on clicking on next set of lines or geometries and you'll end up with this. So here it is. These are all the dimensions. And as you can see, all of these dimensions are measured with respect to this 0 line. Maybe we can just move this section B here. And that's our ordinate dimensioning. Now, if you want to add ordinate dimensioning in vertical direction, then you can do that as well. So go to ordinate and then select a horizontal line. And here it is. It's going to add the first ordinate in this direction and then select another horizontal line and then another one. And we have all the ordinate dimensions here. So that's the vertical dimension. That's the horizontal ordinate dimension. Now we have tools for adding these dimensions separately as well. As you can see in this case, we just added it kind of manually. So I just selected an axis or a point and that decided which kind of ordinate dimension I'll end up with, either horizontal or vertical, but you can select it directly as well. For example, you can select horizontal ordinate dimension and now you can just select a point and it will always add this horizontal dimension. So all the other dimensions will be added in horizontal direction. If, however, you just select the vertical ordinate dimension and you can select any point in this case, it's going to add always the vertical one and every other dimension will be just the vertical ordinate dimension. So I'll just select both of these and I'll delete it. Now let's talk about another dimension here, and that's angular running dimension. Now angular running dimension is similar to this ordinate dimensioning, but in this case we will add dimension on circular features. For example, here as you can see we have several holes in this drawing and also we have holes on these 3 shafts. So in this case, if you want to add dimension, then well, you can just add it using angles and you just need to add angle between all of these circles or all of these holes, and that's going to add a lot of dimensions. So just to ease this process, you can select a 0 line, and in this case I'll just select this axis as the 0 line. Now here it is, we have the 0-degree angle added, and with respect to that you can add all the other dimensions. For example, all you need to do is just select the next one, and here it is, that's the next dimension. And as you can see, this is just angular dimension. So you can keep on selecting all the other circles and that's going to add the required dimensions. Not only that, you can also select axes if you want. For example, here I've just selected the intersection point of axis and here it is, the angle is added. So you can just add these angular dimensions like so. But here also we have a problem. And the problem is all these extension lines. So these extension lines are still making our drawing kind of cluttered. So if you want to clean it up, just go to leaders and from here uncheck this option, display as chain dimension. And now we don't have those extension lines and we just have these dimension lines with the angles. Now here this is 0 line, so every dimension is being measured from here, but it is measuring it in this direction. And if you want to avoid that, then you can also select this option, run bidirectionally. Now this is 45, so is this. So it is measuring equally in both the directions. It's just not measuring it using any single direction. So from here to here, it's going to measure it, and then here to here also it's going to measure it. Now we have all these clean dimension references that we can use. If for any of these dimension lines, if you want the extension line to extend up to center, then you can select this checkbox and it will extend it up to the center. So you can just select multiple lines if you want to extend it to the center. I don't want it, so I'll just uncheck this option and click OK, and here it is.